So we gotta wait until they get distracted. And then all you gotta do is, while they're distracted, we just gotta run away from them. It's that simple. It's a little bit harder than you think, though. So...
Where do you gotta run?
Well, there's really only one other place to be able to run to, because we can't... If you try to go for the exit, they will stop you. But there is this big old pile of fire. That would be a really great distraction, wouldn't it? Come on. There we go. And you can actually get up on their roof, so, you know, you can kind of cover the lost ground. Get off, and let's just run through the fire. Nothing wrong with that. We're in an asbestos suit. Hi.
What happened? Did you get him?
We're not sure.
We finally got him, Bolus. That means Ripburger has to make us vice presidents now, like he promised, and give us 10,000 shares of stock each. Funny smell. What's that? The temperature light?
Well, on the bright side, I just made 20,000 shares of stock.
Yes, in fact, you did.
Time to start the shareholders meeting.
Where's the hardtail?
All over the floor, Mr. Avenger.
What? What happened to your deep sentimental attachment to your father's vintage bike?
Ben, it's just a bike. I can put it back together in about a half an hour. That's assuming, of course, I can find that key.
Key? What? Okay,
What
so
key?
apparently the bike was important in a way. What key are you talking about?
What key are you talking about?
Key to my dad's safe. I remember he hid it somewhere on this bike, but I've looked everywhere and I can't find anything that even looks like a key.
So what's in the safe that's so important?
What's in the safe that's so important?
My dad's will. I'm counting on him to tell the truth about me, finally.
Why did he keep you a secret all these years?
He didn't want people to find out about my mom.
What's so bad about Mrs. Corley?
She wasn't my mom.
Huh.
Ooh, that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? But how are we going to get into the factory?
But how are we going to get in the factory?
In the back of the factory, there's a secret entrance that leads straight into Dad's office. He used to sneak me in so I could help him with his bike designs.
When he got too old to do all the work himself?
Nah, this was back when I was 6.
All right, how do you find the secret passage?
How do I find the secret passage?
Well, it's tricky. You have to wait for all the utility meters to turn black. Then you kick the wall in just the right spot, and you're in.
Okay, how do I find the right spot to kick?
How do I find the right spot to kick?
Dad just knew exactly where to kick it. But I remember that there was this big crack in the wall, and if I lined up that crack with my eye level and kicked the wall right in front of me, this weird portal would open up.
Okay, how was your flight?
How was your flight?
Well, there were some explosions during takeoff, and I landed in a minefield. But other than that, it was fine.
I'm fine, by the way. Thanks for asking.
I'm fine, by the way. Thanks for asking.
Great, now help me find that key.
What are we in anyway?
What are we in, anyway?
It's a C-330 Big Mouth industrial cargo jumbo transport we fixed up. We want to get it rolling so we can take it to biker rallies.
You're going to try to fly this thing?
Rolling, Ben. Rolling. This baby's flying days are over, just like mine.
All right, remember that time you tried to kill me?
Remember that time you tried to kill me?
Yeah, we really taught you a lesson. Get it?
All right, so what if I can't find that spot?
What if I can't find that spot?
Just line up your eyes with the crack, wait for the meters to go black, and kick.
Okay, so I'll see what I can do.
I'll see what I can do.
Right.
All right, so this actually kind of sets us up for the end game of Full Throttle, and unfortunately, we've run out of time for this recording session. So when we get back, we will invade Corley Motors during the shareholders meeting and expose Adrian Ripburger. All that for a bike, and she took it apart. I wore an asbestos suit, for crying out loud. My gang's in jail, I'll do anything for 'em, but then she takes apart the bike? Man, I got the raw end of this deal. Welcome back to Full Throttle, everybody. So, that's kind of the recap. We just barely did a nasty demolition derby where we killed off Rip Burger's assistants. Rest in peace, the brain. Let's just have a moment of silence for the brain.
Yes.
And that's exactly what I wanted to have happen for that. What are we going to do tomorrow night, Bright?
Same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
Now I just need to get the full Throttle lines to you so you can start reading those. What's that? The temperature light? So at that point, when we got back, Maureen took apart the bike. So the bike, we were working so hard, she took it apart. Except there's a reason. So if you look at the parts, there's a bunch of numbers throughout all of them. And they're not like serial numbers for engines and things like that. But if you remember, Corley actually has a secret entrance to his office, which he would sneak Maureen into.
Right.
And the password for that secret entrance, or actually, no, the password is for his safe in the office so we can get his will, which would then prove that, like, Rip Burger doesn't get to inherit Corley Motors and Maureen would be able to do that. We already know also how to get into Corley Motors, but basically, here's a bunch of passwords that you can look up. You can find small ones and big ones with letters, ones without. I'm just going to go ahead and spoil this right here and now. There are no letters in the safe combination. So
The combination's the same every time? Or does it
no,
change?
it's not. It does change. And it does change on which part it's on, but the safe doesn't use letters.
Right.
So I already know that because I played the game numerous times. I already have a feeling I know which one of these is the password. So without further ado, let's go ahead and go back to...
Here, take the photos. I don't want them. Show them to someone important if you get a chance.
Yeah, people might have forgotten that, but when Corley was murdered, there were photos. And the journalist's camera was left at Maureen's. So she developed it, and now she has the proof that we need to show that Malcolm Corley's a scumbag.
That's right.
The other thing I also want to showcase is in our inventory, yes, we have lots of bunnies. Lots and lots of bunnies.
Bunnies.
You have these photos, okay? So,
Mo gave me the photos of her dad's murder.
but then
Gruesome.
the other thing that we need is Corley's will, which would be in the safe.
Right.
So here is where the secret entrance is, and I'm just gonna have Alex listen really quick. So you hear that you know, like air's coming out?
Yeah.
When Maureen said what to look for, she said the meters have to clear. That's what you're listening for.
Right.
And then, remember, she said she had to kick a wall with a crack that was about her height, and she was a kid. So there's really only one crack here that is at her height, and that is this crack. So all we have to do is basically process of elimination kick. You have to kick the wall until we find... You gotta listen for it. This is the hardest part about this whole puzzle. You have to listen. Okay, no, it's not there. You gotta keep kicking the wall. And once we hear a specific sound effect, we'll know that we have the right spot that you have to kick. But it's not easy to find. And guess what, boys and girls? It changes. I've played this game like 4 to 5 times, and the crack has never been in the right spot. Or in the same spot. Nope, not there. Nope, not there. Nope, not there. This one was all the way up here by the crack. Okay, where are you? The only cue you have is sound. So, nope, not there. Oh, not there. We'll probably even magic cut when I find the sweet spot. Because it's such a pain to find. Nope, that's not it. No.
Can you try on the very far right?
Well, you can only go so far down, and then it'll take you out of the area.
Right.
Oh, could it be... Try up here. There we go. And actually, we lucked out because we got the door open. You actually have to wait until the meter's clear and then kick.
Right.
So we lucked out. We don't have to open it again, so don't worry about that. But this is Malcolm Corley's office. So we'll check out Corley's desk.
Just a
Very
little
austere. No drawers.
Actually, believe it or not, some of the stuff in here, I can't confirm it, but I've heard tell that this was a confirmation of what Tim Schafer was working on as his next game after Full Throttle, because you have a guy that looks like death, and guess what came out after this from Tim Schafer? The game that he's pretty much known for in point-and-click adventures, Grim Fandango.
Oh.
So there you go. I love it when developers put little hints into what they're working on next. So here's the floor safe. All you got to do is look at it. And like I said, it's got numbers. It's got 6 numbers. Of all of the numbers that we saw there was really only one that had 6 numbers. So it was 1, 5, 4, 4, 9, 2, press it. And there you go.
There's some sort of card. A tape. I sure hope that's Corley's will.
And it actually is. So just to show you in the inventory, this is what we got for Corley's will. And then here is, basically it's a Corley Motors security card. And we're going to need that. Because there's not really too many places in Corley Motors we can go. So just for the heck of it, I'm going to showcase this.
Locked.
Locked.
Is it this one? Okay. Open this door. Yep.
Looks like the meeting started.
Was not only an inspirational leader, but also a great personal friend. His loss affects us all deeply. Malcolm and I spoke often of the future. We talked of a day when Corley Motors would move beyond its humble beginnings into a new vehicular age. And although his tragic death took him from us sooner than anyone expected, Malcolm Corley's dream remains. And I shall carry out that dream in his memory. Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to present to you the future of Corley Motors. The Corley minivan.
Okay, that just looks ugly.
Corley was right. I never dreamed it would actually come to minivans, though.
Hey, who are you? How long have you been there? Oh, security.
That is definitely not the voice you expected,
Security.
is it?
No.
No.
What took you so long? He ran down the hallway. Move it.
Mavis must be saying things.
All right, so, and I keep forgetting to mention this, but believe it or not, Full Throttle came out in pretty close in conjunction with another adventure game that we have talked about, and that was The Dig. So they came out pretty close to each other, so if you guys haven't seen our playthrough of The Dig, you really ought to go see it. It was really enjoyable.
Great game.
So obviously we have Mavis in there, and we got to contend with her a little bit because in order for us to be able to nail Ripburger, we're probably going to have to show some things at the shareholders meeting. We need eyes on this product. So without further ado, we have a card reader here and this door is locked. Gee, I wonder what we do. Do we have to use the card?
Cool.
I love some of the line reads that Ben gives. All right, so you can't necessarily look out. Like, you get that one moment where you get to see what he was doing. But here is what is conveying, like, the Corley minivan and all that to him. So, obviously, we probably have to sabotage this to get Mavis in here.
That's right.
So, the motor lever, we'll go ahead and press that. And then the lamp lever, well, we'll just go ahead and jack that up.
Let me reiterate that. What you see before you right now is my vision for criminals.
Whoops.
Oh, perfect.
This is a disaster.
You're telling me we're gonna have some major downtime here. Why don't you tell a joke or something?
I don't know any jokes. You know, this reminds me of an amusing anecdote about
Well, I'm out of ideas.
Okay, nobody's going to convince me otherwise. It is great hearing Mark Hamill play the Joker. It is great hearing Mark Hamill play numerous roles. You want to know what's also absolutely freaking hilarious? Listening to that and going, just to hear like him actually trying to fail on camera. All right, so here's where we can start laying the evidence. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll put the photos up here. And then he'll also put up the will.
Now, this next slide shows our new, more aggressive corporate strategy.
Oh no!
Hello there. If you're hearing this, I must have croaked. Well, people gotta move on, you know, and make room for other people. And that's what I'm here to talk about today. I've made room for someone else to take my place at Corley Motors. And it ain't that embezzling crook Adrian Ripburger. Rip, you don't belong at the head of my company. You belong in jail. I let that man talk me into far too many things. Like keeping my daughter a secret. He was wrong. I was wrong. I should have stood by her. I hope, Maureen, that you forgive me, and that you take over Corley Motors and run it however you see fit. All right, that's enough. How do I turn this damn thing off?
I'm sorry you had to hear that tape from one of Malcolm's psychiatric sessions.
Yeah, right.
Near the end, he suffered many paranoid delusions.
Hey, look, who's at the shareholders meeting?
He was haunted by powerful forces of his own creation.
And here's one of them. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Maureen Corley, and do I have a heck of a story for you. By the time I'm done, you'll see why this man should be in jail. Hey, where'd he hobble off to?
Uh-oh.
Ah, crap, he got
There
away.
goes.
No! But hey, we win in the end, right?
And then he sent his goons after me.
Okay, somehow there was a truck there when there wasn't a truck there before.
Run, Ripburger. When it's time to find you, we'll just follow the shiny trail.
Yes, of course we'll have daycare facilities. Any other
It's
questions?
so weird going back to that.
Speak of the devil. Come over here, Ben. That was great, Ben. We're finally where we were meant to be all along.